Have you ever looked at the clock at the end of the day and thought, where did all my time go? You woke up with plans, with goals, maybe even with a to-do list, but somehow the hours just slipped away. And here's the truth: most people don't have a problem with time. They have a problem with managing it. And today, I'm going to share with you 5 powerful time management tips I personally use every single day. If you stay with me until the end, you'll realize that the difference between people who succeed and people who struggle is how they control their time. And once you learn this, you'll never look at your day the same way again. Welcome back to the channel. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed, if you're done running out of time before your day even starts, then this video is for you. I'm not going to share theory or fancy hacks you will never use. These are 5 practical, proven time management strategies that I apply in my own daily routine. Stick around, because even one of these tips could change how you run your day, and together, they'll make you unstoppable. You know, most people think their biggest problem is not having enough time. They wake up, look at the clock, and before they know it, the day has slipped through their fingers. But here's the truth: you don't actually have a time shortage. You have the same 24 hours that I do, the same 24 hours that every successful person you admire has. The real problem, the hidden reason why you always feel like you're running out of time, is how you manage those hours, how you prioritize, and where your attention really goes. And this is the part most people don't want to face, because it means admitting that it's not the world, not the job, not the boss, not the family. It's you. The clock isn't your enemy, your habits are. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how sometimes 2 hours can just vanish into scrolling on your phone, watching random videos, or doing little meaningless tasks? But when you're truly focused, those same 2 hours can produce something life-changing. That's not the time changing, that's you shifting the way you use it. And here's the trap. When we say we don't have enough time, what we're really saying is we've lost control of how we use it. We're not making decisions with clarity. We're letting the hours be stolen quietly without even realizing it. The hidden reason behind this isn't that you lazy or undisciplined it's that your brain has been wired, little by little, to choose comfort over progress. It's wired to chase urgency instead of importance. That's why so many of us spend hours answering messages, emails, or running around with tasks that make us feel busy, but not productive. And at the end of the day, when you're exhausted, you realize you've done a lot of work, but not moved closer to your goals. That's the time trap almost everyone is stuck in. But here's where it gets interesting. If you take 2 people, give them the exact same 24 hours, same environment, same resources, one will feel overwhelmed, stressed, and constantly behind, while the other will look calm, in control, and somehow achieve more. What's the difference? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even motivation. It's the way they manage their time. One person lets time happen to them, the other takes control of time before the day even starts. And maybe that's the piece you've been missing. Because here's the uncomfortable truth: if you don't tell your hours where to go, they will disappear on their own. If you don't plan your priorities, someone else will plan them for you. And that's why you always feel drained, because you're reliving by other people's schedules, other people's urgencies, other people's demands. You're reacting instead of creating. You're surviving instead of directing. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, and instead of jumping straight into chaos, you already know what matters most today. You already know which task will move your life forward, which work is worth your energy, and what can be ignored or delayed. Suddenly, the hours feel different. You don't feel like time is running away. You feel like you're running the day. That shift doesn't come from adding more hours. It comes from mastering how you use them. And here's where the suspense really kicks in, because most people think time management is about calendars, planners, apps, or fancy systems. They think if they just download the right productivity tool, everything will magically change. But let me tell you, none of those tools will save you if you don't first solve this deeper problem. Because the real issue isn't the tool, it's clarity. Until you learn how to identify what truly matters and discipline yourself to focus on it, you'll always feel like you're chasing time, no matter how organized your planner looks. Think about this. Why do some people, even with back-to-back meetings and endless Responsibilities still manage to hit the gym, spend time with family, build a side business, and grow personally, while others with the same workload can't even find 30 minutes of peace. It's because the first person doesn't let the urgent kill the important. They've trained themselves to stop wasting their most valuable asset time on things that don't matter. And if you're honest with yourself, you'll probably see it too. You don't lack hours, you lack direction. You don't lack time, you lack clarity. And that's why no matter how fast you run, you still feel behind. It's like being on a treadmill. You're moving, sweating, working hard, but you're not moving forward. That's what poor time management does. It makes you feel exhausted without progress. Once you understand this hidden reason, everything changes. You start seeing where the leaks are in your day. You begin to notice the distractions you thought were harmless but are actually stealing hours from your future. You realize that productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things at the right time, with the right focus. Now that we've uncovered the hidden reason why you always feel like you're running out of time, let's shift into the part that can actually change everything, the 5 time management strategies that I use every single day. These aren't complicated systems. They're not theories that sound good in books but fall apart in real life. These are the exact strategies that keep me in control of my day, that help me cut out distractions, and that allow me to accomplish more in a single morning than most people get done in an entire day. And when you start applying them, you're going to feel that shift too. The first thing you have to understand is this: time management is not about squeezing in more things. Most people get it wrong here. They think being productive means cramming their schedule with endless tasks, running from one thing to another, and feeling proud of being busy. But being busy doesn't mean you're effective. I learned that the hard way. There were days when I thought I had crushed it because my checklist was full, but when I stepped back, I realized none of those tasks actually moved my life forward. They were just noise. Time management is about cutting out the noise and doubling down on what truly matters. So when I say 5 strategies, think of them as 5 filters that help you separate the important from the irrelevant. 5 tools that stop you from living on autopilot and start giving you authority over your own day. Because here's the truth: without a system, time slips away. But with a system, time bends to your will. The first strategy I use daily is planning the night before. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's life-changing. Here's why. When you wake up without a plan, your brain immediately goes into reactive mode. You start responding to emails, messages, and whatever feels urgent at the moment. But when you already know your top 3 priorities before the day begins, you wake up with direction. You're not reacting, you're executing. And the mental clarity that comes with that is unmatched. The night before, I ask myself, if I could only achieve 3 things tomorrow that would make the day successful, what would they be? That question eliminates the fluff and forces me to focus on impact instead of activity. The second strategy is time blocking. Think of your day as a bank account with 24 slots, each representing an hour. If you don't tell your money where to go, it disappears. Same with time. I block specific hours for specific tasks. Deep work in the morning, meetings in the afternoon, creativity in the evening. By doing this, I protect my focus and stop multitasking. Because multitasking is the illusion of progress. It feels productive, but it actually drains your brain. When I sit down to work, I know exactly what that hour is for, and that clarity multiplies my output. The third strategy I use is the 2-minute rule. Whenever something comes up, an email, a quick task, a reply, if it can be done in under 2 minutes, I do it right away. Why? Because tiny tasks pile up like clutter in your brain. And before you know it, you're drowning in small, nagging responsibilities that eat away at your energy. By knocking them out instantly, I keep my mental space clean and my focus sharp for bigger priorities. The fourth strategy is scheduling breaks on purpose. Most people think time management means working non-stop like a machine, but your brain doesn't work like that. It needs rhythm, cycles of effort, and recovery. I set timers for deep focus sessions, and then I give myself permission to step away, stretch, breathe, walk, whatever it takes. This way, when I come back, I'm not drained, I'm recharged. And the surprising part is that breaks don't waste time, they save it. They keep your mind from burning out, which means you get more done overall. The fifth strategy I rely on every day is reflection. At the end of the day, I ask myself, where did my time actually go? Did I work on the things that matter, or did I get distracted by noise? This 5-minute reflection is like a mirror. It shows me my patterns. And once you see your patterns, you can change them. Without reflection, you repeat the same mistakes every day and never notice why you're stuck. But with reflection, you grow sharper, smarter, more intentional with how you use every hour. Now, here's the catch. These strategies sound simple. And they are, but the power is not in knowing them. The power is in using them consistently. You might think, oh, I'll plan tomorrow when I feel like it, or I'll block my time when things slow down. But if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll keep waiting. Time doesn't wait for you to get organized. You have to step up and take charge. Imagine how different your day would feel if you ended each night knowing exactly what mattered tomorrow. Imagine waking up without stress, already clear on your top 3 tasks. Imagine looking back at your week and realizing that instead of drowning in busyness, you actually made progress. That's what happens when you apply these strategies, not once in a while, but every single day. When you start applying these time management strategies every single day, something unexpected happens. You begin to feel a sense of control over your life that most people never experience. Think about it for a moment. How often do you feel like your day is running you instead of you running your day? You wake up, the notifications start buzzing, people begin asking for your attention, and before you even realize it, you're pulled into the whirlwind of tasks, obligations, and distractions. By the time evening comes, you're drained, but deep down, you know you didn't make the progress you wanted. That constant cycle makes you feel like you're chasing time, always behind, always catching up. But when you actually put these tips into practice daily, that cycle breaks. What changes is not the number of hours in your day, but the quality of those hours. Suddenly, instead of chasing time, you're directing it. Instead of reacting to everything around you, you're intentionally creating your day before it even begins. That shift alone gives you a calm confidence because now you're not waking up wondering, what should I do first? You already know. You're not scrambling from one thing to another, you're executing with clarity. And that clarity is powerful because when you have it, the noise fades, the distractions lose their grip. The things that used to pull you in different directions don't have the same control anymore. Here's what people don't realize: time management is not just about productivity, it's about freedom. Think about it. When you don't manage your time, you feel trapped, like you're at the mercy of everyone else's schedule. But when you apply these tips consistently, you start to build freedom into your day. You carve out time for what actually matters: your goals, your health, your relationships, your growth, and the best part, you stop carrying that constant guilt of, I should have done more. Because now you're not just busy, you're effective. It's easy to underestimate the compound effect of small, consistent time management habits. Planning your day the night before might not feel life-changing the first time you do it. Blocking your hours might seem like a small shift. Taking 5 minutes to reflect at the end of the day might feel insignificant. But when you do these things every day, they stack up. They create a rhythm, a momentum that keeps pushing you forward. And over time, you realize you're not the same person you used to be. You're calmer, more focused, and more in control not just of your hours, but of your entire life. Imagine this 6 months from now. If you've been consistent with these tips, you look back and realize you've accomplished projects that used to feel overwhelming. You've built routines that give you more energy instead of draining you. You've created space for growth in areas you once thought you didn't have time for. And the reason I guarantee that life magically gave you more hours is that you finally learned how to own the ones you already had. That feeling of ownership is what separates people who constantly feel behind from those who seem to glide through their days with control. Here's the part that makes it even more interesting. When you manage your time well, you also manage your energy better. Because time management isn't just about the clock, it's about how you show up in those hours. When you have clarity, you don't waste mental energy deciding what to do. When you've blocked your time, you don't scatter your focus across 10 things at once. When you've reflected on your day, you don't repeat the same mistakes again tomorrow. Every choice compounds into more focus, more control, more results. And the ripple effect is massive. It spills into your confidence, your relationships, your health, even your sense of purpose. Think about people you admire, the ones who seem to accomplish so much without looking stressed. They're not working harder than you. They've simply mastered this game of time. They've turned it into a tool instead of treating it like an enemy. They wake up knowing their hours are directed toward progress, not wasted in distractions. And the reason they appear calm is because they not fighting the clock, they leading it. That's exactly what happens when you use these tips daily. And here's the truth you need to hear: without consistency, none of this works. Using one of these tips once in a while won't change your life. It's when you commit, when you practice them every single day, even on the days you don't feel like it, that you start to see transformation. You go from living reactively to living intentionally. You stop saying, "I don't have time," and start realizing you always had the time, you just weren't managing it. That realization alone can flip your entire perspective, because suddenly excuses lose their power. Instead of saying, "I can't," you start saying, "How can I?" Instead of waiting for time to appear, you make time. And that shift, that control, is what gives you the freedom to build the life you actually want.